There's no resolution in sight at the moment. The French are still really refusing to engage, according to the government here in Jersey, refusing to engage properly in any meaningful sense with them. The hope is that things may improve, but at the moment it's not looking like it. We can get the very latest actually from Jersey's External Relations Minister Ian Gorst. Ian, thank you for joining us on GB News. In terms of the latest development, we know that the French Fisheries Minister has gone and actually sought the approval of 11 EU member states to say that you as a government and the British government is acting unreasonably here. What's your reaction to that?
Well, it's not surprising. There was a meeting of European agricultural ministers yesterday. France would be making their case, but my question to those who signed up and to the French is, what is it that we have done which is in breach of the trade deal? Because we fundamentally don't believe we have. If there is evidence that extra vessels should have licences, then provide the evidence and licences will be provided. If there isn't, then we cannot provide those licences.
Nonetheless, the fact that they have got at this early stage 11 EU countries to agree with them that you and the British government are acting unreasonably here must be concerning, because clearly Paris will think to an extent that they've got right on their side.
Well, I'd ask the question, on what basis did those other member states sign up to the letter, particularly when only last week we saw an official communique from the Paris administration which got wrong a fundamental issue about what level of access we were actually offering. So if you can get basic details wrong, what is the evidence upon which those member states have signed up? And we say to them, let's sit down, go through the evidence, look at the individual vessels. And I say again to the French Minister of the Sea, rather than having rhetoric, rather than trying to divide, let's sit down and deal with the issues.
You're making that direct appeal. They are not listening at the moment. They don't want to respond, it seems. How concerned are you with this date, this pivotal date of the 29th of this month coming up, the point where your 30-day notice period is over, where the licence applications of these 75 odd fishing boats from France will be denied? How concerned are you with that date approaching, that things may ratchet up even more?
Well, let's be clear, we've given a 30-day notice so that those vessels, if they have fished in our waters, can provide that evidence, and we're in conversation with the UK, with Brussels. We're going through the evidence that we've got, and I make an appeal again to the French administration. We've got nothing to hide. Rather than dealing in rhetoric, let's put the interests of both of our fishing communities to the fore and centre, and deal with the data and deal with the evidence and solve the problem. If they haven't been in our water, then they're not entitled to a licence under the trade deal.
And what are you doing to ensure that, for instance, power supplies, if the French do switch off the power, that you will still have sufficient supplies on the island?
Well, we are able to generate our own electricity here. We don't believe that we should need to. It's completely inappropriate to make a suggestion that you should cut off the power supply to Jersey's hospital and Jersey's schools, but even to dial it down and cut it off for a few hours a day. That's not the behaviour of a responsible ally.
OK, Ian Gorst, thank you very much indeed for speaking to us. There you have it, straight from Jersey's External Affairs Minister, Ian Gorst. He is appealing directly to the French to try to enter into meaningful dialogue. But at the moment, the soundings coming from Paris don't look as though they are particularly responsive to those overtures.